me through life. I can't.
What's up, ATC gang? Welcome back to another video. Today is Vlogtober, episode 2, and we're doing a cook with me. We are making a family favorite. So if you want to see how I make my sausage and chicken with gravy over Jasmine Rice, keep watching. So right here, I'm just adding a little bit of Himalayan pink sea salt to the water so it can boil. That was my pot for my rice. And while that's prepping, I'm going to go ahead and get my chicken nice and washed off and get it seasoned up. So I like to rinse my chicken 2 to 3 times. And then after I'm done touching it, I go ahead and wash my hands twice before I move on to the seasoning. What I'm using is called chicken seasoning, or you can use a chicken and beer batter combination, but they're both very tasty in this recipe. You just want to make sure you don't use 2 seasonings that have too much salt. So I have way more than what I needed for this recipe. So I'm just taking 5 or 6 chicken breasts and bagging it up separately to put it in the freezer. That way I can have that for another meal. For a serving, we have a family of 4 with leftovers, you only need about 5 or 6 chicken breast tenders to make this meal. Now, because I was over here with my chicken a few minutes too long, a little bit of the water boiled out. So I'm just replacing it with beef broth. So the ratio is 2 cups of water to 1 cup of jasmine rice. So once you add your rice, you just want to make sure you stir it up so nothing is sticking. Turn your pot down to low and pop a lid on it. Right here, I am cutting off maybe about a tablespoon of butter, and I'm gonna let it melt in a pan. This is a pretty big frying pan. I opted to put a plate over my rice because that's just what I do. And right here, I added a little bit of extra virgin olive oil to help with the flavoring and so that it doesn't stick. So while my rice is simmering on low for about 20 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and take my chicken breast. As you can see, they are seasoned thoroughly. But I'm going to pop them down in the pan and just let them cook on each side for about 8 to 10 minutes. These chicken breast tenderloins cook up pretty quickly. So it's been about 10 minutes, and as you can see, they are white on one side and pink in the middle. So I'm just going to flip them over, pop the lid on, and go over to my sink and begin to prep the next part of the meat. So you can either do shrimp or sausage or a combination of all 3. But tonight I'm doing sausage. So I just like to rinse my sausage, flip them over, and then rinse them on the other side before I put them in the frying pan. So no more than 15 to 20 minutes on your chicken because it will finish cooking down in the end inside the gravy. Always make sure you pour off that extra broth because you're going to use that later on to make the gravy from scratch. No need to rinse your pan out. Just add your meat because you want all those flavors to simmer together. From earlier, this is my extra chicken. So I just took a little bit of Dawn to wipe it down. And then, of course, I'll follow that up with some Sandy wipes. So right here, I'm just showing you how the meat looks. It is all the way done and it's nice and tender. And of course, my men came into the kitchen because they had to taste test the meat along the way. So you just want to make sure to check on your sausage and flip it over. It probably only needs about 15 minutes to cook. And as always, while I'm letting my meat brown, I decide to do a little bit of cleaning so it doesn't all pile up on me in the end. I'm curious, do you clean up your kitchen as you cook, or is it just me? Let me know. Let's chat down in the comments. I like to make sure that I thoroughly scrub the faucet as well as the sink, because you know when you're cooking with meat, your hands are touching the sink, and I don't want no salmonella lingering around. So our sausage is nice and browned. And I forgot to mention earlier, I let it cook for about 8 to 10 minutes. And then I'll cut slits in it so that the pan doesn't burn. That's very important. You don't want your pan to burn because we're going to use all of the flavors and juices later. That's what I was showing you here, the little burn marks. But that's not too bad at all. We're still good to go. You want to try to avoid burning up your pan, because if you burn your pan, you have to wash it out. And washing it out washes away all of the grease and seasonings. So I cut my sausage up halfway through the cooking so it can cook properly and not stick to the pan. So you just want to chop up all of your meat into bite-sized pieces, and then we will move right along to the next step. If you are enjoying the video thus far, I would love for you to do me a favor. Leave me a big thumbs up because it really helps out my channel. Ooh, that meat is looking tasty. So now this is for the semi-hard part. If you've never made gravy before, just follow these instructions. So as you can see, I kept my broth from the two meats. That's important from the flavoring. I added probably 2 or 3 tablespoonfuls of regular oil, 2 or 3 tablespoonfuls of olive oil. Then you want to take your onion, chop it down in the pan. I'm scraping all of the oil from the sides of the pan just to make sure our onions are getting thoroughly coated in the oil so that they can brown properly. So you let your onions, I think the word is called caramelize, for maybe about no more than 10 minutes. It doesn't take long. And I added a little bit of seasoning to my onions. Once that is done, this is the part where you really have to be careful and take your time. You can use a whisk, but as you can see, I'm literally only adding the smallest amounts, maybe a tablespoonful of flour to my grease at a time, because as you can see, as you scrape it all together, it makes kind of like a paste, and that's what you want it to do. So you want to soak up all of the oil with enough flour, if that makes any sense. And then I just come in and I'm gonna add total maybe a cup of broth and 2 cups of water. But the key is to just add the liquid slowly and keep stirring along the way. You'll be able to feel the thickness of the gravy, so you can tell if you need to add more or less liquid. But a good rule of thumb is to know you're going to add at least 2 cups of water. You can do 1 cup of broth, like I said, for flavoring. So my recipe is 1 cup of broth, 2 cups of water, and I'm slowly just stirring up all of the ingredients because I want no clumps. If you don't feel comfortable using a spatula, then use a whisk to make sure you have no clumps in your gravy. Make sure you're doing this on like a low to medium heat so you don't burn your gravy. So as you guys can see, I went ahead and added my meat back to the pot. I'm going to let that simmer for a good 5 to 7 minutes. And then I'll wash up these dishes and we can get ready to plate dinner. all of those that are new to my channel, I want to introduce myself. Hello, my name is CICELY. I am a disabled mom of 2 boys by way of sickle cell anemia. So I felt it was important to be able to encourage people that if I can get up and take care of my family and my home, even through sickle cell pain and crises, I just wanted to be an encouragement that you can do it as well. We can do it together. So I enjoy vlogging, cook with me's. Sometimes we do hauls and a lot of home decor. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you know every time we upload. We love to have you. All right, guys, check out this good food right here. Ooh wee. Thanks for watching.
But I know God's word is true.